In less than 30 minutes, I am quickly going to show you how to use your present JAMB score to gain admission this year, 2025. And believe me, I am not going to use beyond 30 minutes. Just stick with me as we go all along. Now, here are the objectives I'm going to be covering in the whole of this section. I want you to pay attention to every bit of it because every of the information you're going to get this moment and this time would surely be valuable to you. And believe me, it will give you an edge over every other jambite out there. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about quickly is forget about your jam results for 1 hour and let us focus on the real deal, right? Now, the second thing is why this year admission will be tough and at the same time very easy, right? And the third thing we are going to be talking about is why should you listen to me? Many of you coming across this video, maybe from Facebook, from TikTok, from Instagram, whatsoever platform you came across, maybe an heart, you don't know me, and obviously you need to know me because if you don't know me, definitely you will not be able to trust me, right? Now, the other thing I want to talk about is how to use your JAM result to secure admission. I know majority of us are below 200, and sometimes you feel that should be an hindrance to you securing admission this year. No, it isn't. And I'm going to tell you as we go along in this video why scoring below 200 should not be the reason why you shouldn't gain admission this year. Now, the next thing is I'm going to talk about cutoff mark. This part you shouldn't even try to miss it, right? And honestly, if you don't understand how cutoff mark works, then you don't even understand anything about admission. That's the meaning, because what is admission without cutoff mark? You really need to have a deep understanding about it. Next thing I will talk about is the peak challenge, and obviously I'm going to provide a solution. Right now, forget about your jam result for 1 hour. Let us focus on the real deal. Now, why am I emphasizing on students to forget about their jam results? I realize and I've come to understand over these years of experience that student tends to always focus more on the minor than the major. Now, what is the minor? The minor is the jam result. The major is what? Admission. Now, the jam result will make you feel in some type of ways, right? In fact, to make you feel in three ways. Like you feel, you surely fall amidst these three feelings, if I will use that word, right? The first feeling is that you feel bad about your result and you be like, this can't be my result. No. Like some of the students experienced a few weeks back. Obviously, you saw the result and be like, even some are still in shock. Even those that did not receipt, they have not still believed that it's not their result. It's fine. It's a feeling, which is not a bad one, right? You feel you deserve much more better, which is cool, right? The second way Jambites will feel is that you also feel uncertain about the result. Like immediately you see the result, you start asking yourself questions like, can this jam result give me what I want? Can I study the course I want with this jam result? All of those questions, you'll be able to answer them immediately after you're done watching this video till the end. And the third type of feeling is you feel confident. Some students will actually feel confident and happy, and that you have this kind of result, right? And you feel because you have that kind of result, admission is certain. Because you have 300, 310, admission is certain. Hey, friend, it's not like that. High jam score does not actually even determine admission, right? Yes, it will aid it will make it faster, it will increase your chances, but that is not all it takes to secure admission. You get to find out as you go all along. Now, well, in any way you feel, just forget about the jam result and focus on the main and the major thing, which is what? Securing admission into tertiary institution. And how you're going to do that is what I'm going to expose to you as you go all along in this video. Now, why admission will be tough at the same time easy? Yes, admission this year will be more competitive, and I have my reason for saying that. But honestly, you don't have to panic about that, right? I'm telling you this not to scare you, but to also help you and prepare for what is ahead of you. Why it's going to be hard is simply because over 2 million candidates register for JAMB this year. I know that information is not strange to some of us, right? But which is extremely more than those that registered last year. 1.9 registered last year, about 2 million registered this year, right? Now, yet the number of available admission slots has not increased. That simply means for every school that we have in this whole country, every institution, federal, state, and private, they cannot admit more than max 600 students, right? In fact, as a matter of fact, yearly it has always been within 500 to 900,000 students. But most of the time, admission always go around just 500,000 students. Yes, and that to you simply shows you how difficult it's going to be. In fact, of recent, I heard the JAM media person talking about the challenges and why if use JAM results is not also the main thing for admission causing that thing, right? Now, at the same time, you want to look at getting admission into Nigerian institution like a competition of a race of about 2 million students, where only 500,000 will win. That is just the way it is. Over 2 million students have started running the race as I am speaking to you now, and only about 500,000 will win. And that is why you see that the majority of students have written more than once, some twice, some 3 times, some 4 times, some 5 times. I've seen people wrote exams 6 good times even before they secure admission. In fact, some give up along the line, right? That shows you how crazy it really is. And of course, it's really going to be crazier this year. But who is coming first in this race isn't necessarily who is more brilliant, rather who is more informed. That's another thing I want you guys to understand. That who wins the race of getting admission is not by how smart or how brilliant they are. Rather, it is how informed they are. It is the information that they have makes them have an edge over every other people running the race at the same time with them, right? And that same information is what you have right here listening to this. But I'm going to expose you to every information you need that will give you an edge over every other jamba. You just have to watch this video till the very end. Now, give an example of two students with different access of information. Now, you could imagine a student, for instance, had 300 to study nursing, right? And another student had 250 to study nursing. Like it happened to one of my students last year that had 250 and we were able to get a nursing in Federal University of Oyekiti. But there is a smart way of actually doing this. I'm giving an instance here where you have two students, one had 300 plus, the other had 250. Now, the first one that had 300 plus applied to a school like Unilag, right? And if you apply to a school like Unilag, you have to do exam and you have to also use your post-UTME, right? Now, these students went to do Unilag exam and eventually had something that is not so encouraging in the post-UTME, let's say 15/30. And here is a student as well that had 250, and she knows that she can't compete with a student that have 300 in Unilag. And because of the information she has, just like I told this my student that had 250 last year, that come, Unilori cannot give you admission with your 250, most especially when you want nursing. Change to 4 year. And why you need to change to Federal University of Oyekiti is simply because you have a strong O-level result. There, something actually happened there. Student A did not have information. Student B has information, right? So then B have the information that I need to change to 4A because I have 250 and I have a strong level result, right? So then A did not have that information that scoring 300 enough is not really enough to get nursing, which is true. So this is the difference between the student that have the information and student that does not. So information eventually used to set every student apart. Now, tough for those who didn't get proper guide. Admission will typically be tough for those set of students. If you don't have a proper guide, you don't have someone to put you through on how this process will go, you don't have someone that will tell you, this course you're applying to, you don't have what it takes to get it. Change to this course. It's a big problem, right? And that is what really makes admission tough. But it's going to be easier for those who are furnished with a lot of information to guide them on the right track. Now, having said all of this, why do you have to listen to me? Why do you have to listen to this dark guy right in front of the screen, right? Now, the first thing is I think I should introduce myself. My name is Daniel, founder of the fast-growing edutech platform, fallback, Foundation Media Academic Consult. Over the last 6 years, I've guided more than 700 students to secure admission into their dream schools and courses. And I'm not kidding about this. One of them is Debbie. Debbie is even just my last student. She tried to get admission for a good 3 years. By the time she met me, she was almost giving up. Not only did I restore her hope, but she also gain admission. And me, I don't say things without receipts because we are in the social media era where people kind of create anything just to show how legit they are. But this is not even a matter of creating. This is what really happened. And this is Debbie. She practically sends me this message. This is a WhatsApp screen grab. And if you have the time, you can just go over YouTube by you can just pause the video and just read the message. Say, yes, God is good. I told you good news soon. I was shocked. Thank you so much, Mr. Dan, for everything. I really can't thank you enough, sir. Just a prayer in my heart. All the students that will be coming to you for consultation, they are the ones that God, that God has finished their admission already. They used to regard it. And those are the prayers of Debbie after she's got admission. You can see Debbie sends me a matriculation picture, and I just trust that you that are also watching this video, you also have reason to wear a matriculation gown this year. It is not a prayer. You just watch and flow through this prayer to the end. It will watch and flow through this video to the end. It will surely happen. Right now, another amazing one is Samson. Fantastic guy. Like this guy has literally tried admission for good 3 years. He was actually looking for law. That's the funny thing. He was looking for law and he was not getting it. And last year when we had to sit down, we analyzed every of his chances. And by God's grace, Samson actually got law. And like you can see on the screen, that is when Samson sent me the admission notification, and I replied, "Victory at last. I am happy for you, my bro. Congratulations. Let me know when they're ready for the admission data." And that is also Samson matriculation picture that is sent to me. This is real. Like, it is possible. Whatever JAMB score you have, you can secure admission with it. Just stick to the end. Now, how to use your JAMB result to secure admission? Now, the thing is, I need to firstly make you understand the reality of your JAMB results. It is not the time to be over ambitious. Now, the first thing I tell students that you need to accept your JAMB results first. It is what we call reality acceptance. That is, you go to a level where if you, oh, this is my JAMB result, the next question is, what can I do with it? And that is what you should be asking yourself. Can this result get me my chosen course in my school of choice? This is when you start thinking about change of course and change of institution. But then, even before you do that, you can't just change to any school. Either you just be changing from fragment to fire, right? You need to get a proper guide on what school do I have a high chance to gain admission into. What are my chances of getting the particular course I want? If I don't get this course in this school, can I get it in that school? That is how to ask question immediately after you have accepted the reality of your JAMB result. And once you have been able to answer that question with the guide of anyone you feel is in a better position to guide you, then you make the best decision. And the best decision should actually lead to you gaining admission. Now, let's talk about cutoff mark. Let's talk about cutoff mark. The first thing I need to let you guys understand is how cutoff mark works. And this generally actually answers the question that students have been asking me. If I score so amount of JAMB score, can I gain admission? Now, you need to listen. There are three different kind of cutoff mark. The first one is that is you have JAMB cutoff mark, right? You also have your prospective institution cutoff mark. You also have your departmental cutoff mark. These are the three major type of cutoff mark. And when we talk about cutoff mark, we're actually talking about minimum mark, right? Now, 2024 last year, JAMB cutoff mark was 140. And truly, they might likely maintain the same this year, or even lower. I don't see them going higher in any way, right? They would actually go lower or they'll maintain the 140. That means if you have 140 above, you are entitled to gain admission into any federal, into any institution that accepts 140. That is what it means. That is what we call the JAMB cutoff mark. It is a general cutoff mark, right? Now, Polytechnic PEG, there has to be on Polytechnic PEG, JAMB PEG Polytechnic to be 100 above. That is, any student that have 100 above is entitled to gain admission into polytechnics, right? Now, here's a big challenge. Very big challenge. Very big challenge. And here is where most Jambites get stuck. Before I even talk about that, I forgot to add that there is also what we call prospective institution cutoff mark. And there's also what we call departmental cutoff mark. Prospective institution cutoff mark is the cutoff mark every institution be set, right? Now, for instance, JAMB has pegged cutoff mark to be 140, right? Now, every institution will now sit down and say, okay, we or Unilag, what we want is 200 above. If you don't have 200 above, don't apply. OE, we say you have 200 above. 4 years, we say, okay, our home, we can still accept you if you have 140 above. That is what institution cutoff mark really is. And the last one is departmental cutoff mark. Departmental cutoff mark is simply the cutoff mark that is being pegged by every department in that school. For instance, if you like school of medicine will peg their own cutoff, they will tell you, oh, if you don't have 84 as an aggregate, minimally, you cannot get nursing, you cannot get medicine, right? That is what we refer to as departmental cutoff mark. I hope you understand that. Now, let's continue. The big challenge. Now, what is the major big challenge students are always having? Now, the truth is, most Jambites get stuck and confused. Some think they even know what to do. These are the set of students that really feel bad for the most. Those students that feel they know what to do, and truly, they know what to do. They've been trying it 1 year. They know what to do. They've been trying it second year. They know what to do. This is their third time for crying out loud, and they are still claiming they know what to do. But in all honesty, they end up making just trial and error changes. Some believe, okay, the next thing I need to do is just to change the institution. Yes, the next thing you need to do is to change the institution, but how do you know the institution you are changing to would give you admission? That is where the problem is. The issue or the problem is not the solution is not just to change. The solution is actually to change to what will give you an higher chance of admission. That is how it works. If you are changing to something that is not guaranteed to give you admission, then it's just like a waste of. That is why you see most of the students, they change 3, 4, 5 times. And believe me, as far as JAMB is concerned, you can change 10 times. They'll be accepting your money because you cannot even effect change without not making payment online for it, right? So the more you change, the more money JAMB is making, and the more confused you are showing yourself to be. And that is just how it is. Now, others even rely on uncles and aunties. I'm not totally against you relying on your uncle and auntie from helping you to secure admission. But the point here is, your uncle and auntie, are they guiding you right? Like, what experience does your uncle and auntie have? Now, they might even tell you that they have someone there, they have someone here. In all honesty, I understand that networking works. Like, if you know someone, they can. But when it comes to the issue of admission, there's a limitation to how people or how individual affects the whole standard of how it works. That is, everything have a standard, and you just have to follow it. Now, so how do you know which course gives you the best chance? How do you know which school increases your chance of admission? How do you even avoid the mistakes others will make that will cause them years of sitting at home to write another JAMB exam? How do you get the right guidance that will save you a lot of time of trying different things? And this is where the major challenge used to come from. This is where the problem is actually, and this is what we need to find solutions for. Now, here's the solution. Here's how I and my team at fallback want to help you achieve the dream of gaining admission this year. You don't want to be person left behind while your friends are moving forward. Such a painful experience, right? I've experienced it before, and I honestly don't pray for my enemy to experience. It's just whereby you see your friend going to school and you are still at home. It affects the mental mind. You also don't want to be the one writing JAMB again next year. To be honest, I detest the process of writing JAMB exam year in year out. It doesn't even make any sense. Why do you have to write JAMB exam over and over again when you can use that same JAMB score you have this year to secure admission? All you just need is just a proper guide. Now, the most painful of all is a loss of respect and sometimes getting ridiculed by some of your loved ones. This is really, really not funny. Like, you see in a family whereby maybe the firstborn, for instance, is trying to get admission and has been spending 3 years. His junior one that got to SS1, not even quite long, already catching up with him in SS3 already, also wanting to join him seeking for admission. It's crazy. Those things are not good things, right? And you don't want to be that kind of person this year, right? Now, here's the perfect solution. I have created what I call an admission consultation guide, specifically for only 200 students who desire and need someone to hold their hands during this admission process. It is called Admission Consultation Guide, and it is designed to walk you through the entire admission process. Now, this is what I do. Now, for every student that will be interested in this, what I simply do is that the first thing is they have a one-on-one clarity call with me. That is what the ACG is all about, like admission consultation guide. You have a one-on-one clarity call with me where I typically interact with you, and we find solution to the present challenge of the institution you need to change to and the course you need to change to. This is the reason why this works so perfectly, right? Now, the truth is, you might have a very good JAMB score and you can be in the wrong school. Let me give you an instance. Ife, one of my last year students, applied to OAU Ife, right? Now, when she applied to OAU Ife, at the time she was applying to OAU Ife, I wasn't involved. It was afterwards. She also paid for a consultation guide last year, and she reached out to me and we had a clarity call. Now, when we had a call, I realized that our chances in OAU is very, very slim. Guess what? I was correct because OAU did not give her admission. But the interesting thing is, before OAU disappointed her, we already had a backup. And that backup was Federal University of Oye Ekiti. Federal University of Oye Ekiti is always my very good option when students have a very strong level result. You can have that as a kind of secret, but it's just what it is, right? So if I had a very fantastic level result, and what do? We simply change that to 4 years. Guess what? If I got low in Federal University of Oye Ekiti. Now, that is what one-on-one clarity call can do for you. You are confused, you don't know what to do. Believe me, you cannot have a conversation with me and not get clarity. So what we do typically is we calculate your aggregate, check up your chances, what are your chances, what are not your chances, what is your best option, and definitely you get series of options that you're going to be talking about. And the interesting thing is that is not all. I'm going to hold your hands for about 3 to 4 months to secure admission. Like, I'm typically telling you what to do at every point in time, so you won't make mistakes like the way other JAMBites are. Now, the second thing you're going to get is you're going to get access to the private community group. This is a support group I created for only my own special students that has gotten the admission consultation guide. So what that simply means is that they send messages and I'm always responding for any questions they have. They're always dropping on that group, and this is where they're going to be till they are able to secure admission. And this is how I actually guide them and support them. Now, they also have free access to fallback library. Fallback actually have a library where we have majority of the post-UTME past questions I've been able to put together over the years. That is, you don't have to like so far to start looking for past questions to use to prepare yourself for the post-UTME of the current school you are applying to. Now, I know the next question you have in your mind is that is this free? I'm going to answer you. Well, I wish I could make this free, but then imagine me committing every hour of my time daily for about 4 months. That's till around September, where admission process will start. So about 2,500 students I have in my community. That is not possible. Like this particular video, before you got it, perhaps maybe an act was run. I cannot commit to everybody, right? I need to set apart the student I need to commit to and make sure those students are able to achieve their dream. They're able to achieve their goal of getting admission this year. Now, that is not even possible. I cannot commit myself to 2,500 students or more, right? I can't even pay attention to more than 200 students. And these are the set of students I want in the special admission consultation guide group I have created. Hence, the need for me to charge a token, which I feel an average JAMBite and parents can afford, obviously, because I cannot commit myself to those set of good numbers of students. I need to set apart the ones I can commit myself to, and for me to set them apart, hence the need for them to make payment for it. And obviously, come on, I'm spending a lot of time with them all the way for about 4 to 5 months. That is quite a lot. Now, let's assume I don't even charge for this. Some students still go outside to pay scammers for admission, in which they still don't get. Like someone reached out to me that he paid someone almost about 100,000 naira. I have the screen grab. It's just that I forgot to pull it up here. And it's really ridiculous how people pay that kind of amount for admission that you just need a simple guide to get. You understand? But like I always say, I always have receipts for everything I say. Now, just like the person I met last year, let me give you the gist. She paid 30,000 naira to someone who promised her admission. She lost the money and still didn't get the admission. Same thing most of us have done in the previous years, and you don't want to make that mistake again. And this is the chat between me and the young lady. Look at the chat. The first chat stated that I've paid since last year. He collected 30,000 naira, right? And now she's coming to me as of last year to lead her through to gain admission eventually. So now, to the cost of the AGC, how much does the admission consultation guide cost? Admission consultation guide cost only a token of 5,000 naira. Now, the truth is, does this even worth it? That's the first question you should ask yourself. Now, let me answer for you. Now, the first thing you need to ask yourself is you need to remember the times you did all of this on your own, trying to change school and course without getting admission. The question is, does 5,000 naira is 5,000 naira worth taking you away from that, or taking that stress away from you? Now, or if it is your first time, imagine you are going through a journey of getting admission that you haven't passed through before. Surely you may have to, you most of the time, if you are doing something for the first time, you always make mistake. And the question is 5,000 naira enough to save me from making such mistake? Now, if 5,000 naira is worth taking all those stress and pain away from you, stress of writing JAMB all over again, stress of doing all of this thing alone, stress of being confused, I don't know what to do. If you feel it is 5,000 naira is enough or is worth taking all those stress away from you, you can just make payment right into this account. You can just pause the video and just perhaps copy this number somewhere, send your payments to this particular account number, and this is also my WhatsApp number. All you just need to do is just to put a 0 in the front of 0706970244 and send me the receipt via WhatsApp, or use the link that is attached to this particular video to make payment. And I'm going to see you in the inside. Finally, before you go, I promise to give you a gist. And now, here is what Enela, one of my last students, said after she got the admission consultation guide. It is indeed a refreshing moment, sir. Through our sections, you've not only helped me identify blind spots, but also empowered me with knowledge and tools to overcome them. Your unique perspective and approach have expanded my understanding and enabled me to have informed decisions that have positively impacted me. And interestingly, Eniola did not only give me a comment about the admission consultation guide, she also sent a matriculation picture after she gained after she got to school, and obviously she has gained admission. And, you can just see the picture and you see God deep, thank you, Mr. Dan, for clearing the path for us. And it was like after like 3 to 4 months when we had the consultation guide, right? When we had the consultation section. So if you know this is what you want for yourself, just get into the admission consultation guide group, and I will be glad to help you all the way. I hope I've not taken